Next thing, we have inequalities. Inequalities are just like equation, and it's almost right there in the name. Okay? There's pretty much equation right there, except we know that it is not equal. Okay? It's not an equality situation. So don't do anything different when you're doing an inequality, except for this. Everything stays exactly the same as we went through with equations, except for just one important detail, okay? Make sure that when you are using multiplication or division as your opposite operation, okay, if you divide or multiply by a negative number, the inequality sign has to switch, okay? It has to flip around, all right? Left to right flip. So let's take a look at a couple. It's just really simple, nothing hard to figure out. If we have x positive 4 less than or equal to 10, we know it's a positive 10. Okay, that's positive 1x. If you want to remember, we have nx, that means it's 1x. We know the 1 would be positive. So we go ahead and do this. Still split it in two sides, still keep it equal. They battle out. Positive 1x equals positive 10 battling negative 4. The positive win by 6. We know positive 1x is the same as 1x, which is the same as x. X is positive 6. Don't forget my inequality sign instead of my equal sign. And we're done. Okay, no multiplication, division, nothing changed at all from an equation except that we just had a different sign the whole way down. Okay, now if we're multiplying by or dividing by a positive number, this doesn't happen. Okay, the switch doesn't take place. So if I have 3d is less than 21, well, this is a positive 3d. I know this is my multiplication here. I have to divide that 3 out of the way, just like in equations. Nothing changes. The opposite of multiplying by positive 3 is dividing by positive 3. So I divide each side by the positive 3. There's 1. I know it's positive because they match. Positive 1d is the same as 1d, which is the same as d. Okay, again, make sure you don't use the equal sign. Make sure you keep whatever sign you're using. 21 over 3 is a positive 21, so they match. By now, you probably know that 21 divided by 3 is 7. You can always simplify it like a fraction to get there. There's our answer. D is less than positive 7. A lot of times you're going to be asked to graph these. So we're going to go to our number line. And we know our number line is kind of set by 0. 0 kind of tells us where everything else is. The negatives are on the left, the positives are on the right. Well, this is a positive number, so let's go out here. Let's find a positive 7. Now, since this is only less than, we didn't hit our target. So we still have an open target here, and we show that the rest of our answers are to the left side, right? D is less than positive 7. We always want to read from where the variable is. If it was on the other side and it said 7 is greater than D, we still want to look at the D and say D is less than 7 so that we understand where our values are. So since our answers are to the left, less than 7, we want to go ahead and show that our answers are any of the numbers that go this way, but not including this guy. He's open there at 7. So any number right up next to 7 on the from the left on to negative infinity out, way, way, way out to the left. Nice one to check is 0. Put your 0 in. 3 times 0 is 0. 0 is less than 21. You must be in pretty good shape. Okay? Let's look at another one. This one is a two-step. We've seen this with equations. Nothing really different about it. If that 4 is positive, I know I'm not going to change this sign at all. This is my greater than sign. That shows me that's the left-right split. This is multiplication. This is a combination. It looks like an equation. I solve it like an equation. I'm good to go. Opposite operations, SCAD-MEP, so I know I get rid of that combination first. So I'm going to equally take a positive 8 from each side. They battle out there. These are on the same team. They join. Keep my inequality sign, because the easiest thing to do, as you've already seen, is, sometimes we forget and we just start putting equals there. But we have to show that it's not an equal situation. It's an inequality. But this is still times positive 4, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by a positive 4. That makes a 1. The positive makes it positive because it matched. We know positive 1f is the same as 1f, which is the same as f. That does not change because it's still not dividing or multiplying by a negative. So it's exactly like equations, except it has an inequality sign. 24 over 4 simplifies to positive 6. F is greater than positive 6. Let's go ahead and graph that. I know I set it with 0. I know positive 6 is to the right. I know it does not hit the 6 because it's only greater than. And I know since it's greater than positive 6, my answers are to the right. Left is less, right is great. I show that my answers lie out to the right. Really simple stuff. Now, here's the trick. Here's the catch. This is what I was telling you about. When we are going to have a negative number with the variable, okay, like a negative 5q, if that was less than or equal to positive 20, still going to split it. Everything's going to stay the same except what I mentioned earlier, where we have to switch that inequality sign. So I have multiplication here, nothing else to worry about. I know if I'm multiplying by negative 5, I need to divide by negative 5 because I need those to match and make a positive. 5 over 5 makes 1. Positive 1q is the same as 1q, which is the same as q. Have to do the same over here because if you have something that's not equal and you start doing different things on each side, it may eventually equal out, which would kind of cause trouble. We have to do it equally so that it stays unequal. Well, I know this is going to be a negative answer. 20 divided by 5 or 20 over 5 simplified is 4. Okay? The only thing that changes is since I did this, divided by a negative, or if it had been a multiplied by a negative situation, I have to turn that inequality sign around. So instead of the q on the left being less than whatever's on the right, q actually ends up being greater than or equal to negative 4. I go to my number line, set it with 0. I find negative 4. Since it's equal to, I know I hit my target, so I'm going to go ahead and fill this in and show you that you can use that negative 4. And then, since it's greater, I know my answers are to the right. Left is less, right is great. I'm going to go ahead and show them there. Again, great chance to check with the 0. 0 is a great one to check with. Negative 5 times 0 is 0. 0 is less than or equal to positive 20. Sure is. We're good to go. Okay? And that's inequalities. Just don't forget, when you multiply or divide by a negative, flip that inequality sign around. Good luck.